Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Flaming Sphere.
Fire sounds.
You know, like, you know how you go in the cereal aisle at Walmart,
Mhm.
and they've got their own brand of cereal. They got like fruit rings or what's magic treasures, and the name of this spell feels like the Walmart equivalent of Fireball.
Yeah, agreed.
Sphere. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go with like gobstoppers or something, or like warheads, right? They have flaming spheres instead. That's what Walmart offers. Uh, it is not even remotely fireball somehow. It is like technically a ball of fire, but yet doesn't do the fireball thing even a little bit. So this is a second level conjuration spell. Action cast. Concentration up to a minute. A 5-foot diameter sphere of fire appears in an unoccupied space of your choice within range being 60 feet, that lasts for the duration. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere makes a dex save, taking 2d6 fire on a failed save and half as much on a successful one. So if a creature ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere, it takes the damage. Currently no other time. As a bonus action, you can move the sphere 30 feet. If you ram it into a creature, it makes the saving throw against the sphere's damage, and the sphere stops moving this turn. When you move the sphere, you can direct it over barriers up to 5 feet tall, across pits up to 10 feet wide. The sphere ignites flammable objects not being worn and carried, and sheds bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light 20 feet beyond that. When you cast the spell using 3rd level or higher slot, the damage is by a d6 above 2nd level. Don't do that.
No, not when 3rd level gives you actual fireball.
Fireball. Yeah, fireball is 4 flaming spheres bundled together all at once, hitting more things. So, like, yeah, don't.
Like, they can't just run away from the damage.
Yeah. So, okay. I
Yes.
think Flaming Sphere has a little bit of a bad reputation in that it sounds like it's an area of effect damaging persistent effect, and it doesn't often do that well because of how, like you just suggested, it's really easy to just walk away from it. I think what Flaming Sphere does do well is it is a simile of like a spiritual weapon. This is a 2d6 bonus action save that you get round after round after round for a minute. Constant concentration, making it a lot worse than the spiritual weapon. But at the same time, it's a 30-foot move. It can go across gaps and stuff like that, although that's a little bit clunkier than spiritual weapon. But it is for druid, sorcerers, wizards, whereas spiritual weapons is a cleric option. So if you wanted a damaging effect where you considered it a bonus action attack first, and then just gravy is also an area effect 2d6 damage spell, I think it's pretty solid. And that's really ultimately where I think Flaming Sphere lands. You don't really need it in reality. Both like druid, sorcerers, and wizards in particular, they have damaging spells in an abundance. This is a comparable option to the rest of them. It's a bonus action comparable option to the rest of them, though, and will stretch your resources out if you want to just do one concentration effect for a fight, one concentration effect for a fight. This will be a perfectly reasonable option to have.
Let me clear this up. Now, the bonus action thing. You move the sphere,
Yep.
ram it into a creature. They make a saving throw or take
Yes.
the damage.
Correct.
Yeah, but so that's the exception to the rule of it, ending their turn there.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not impressed. This is it has the potential to be a small area of effect damaging spell. And my problem with it is that people who are casting it, that's what they're kind of expecting it to be. But I think it's just they're gonna get frustrated when they keep moving it, and then creatures keep moving out of the way before they take damage.
Yeah, moral of the story is if you're ever moving this, hit something with it. If you're not hitting something with it, you're going to have a bad time. In that it's really easy for things to just waddle away from this. You can't like throw this down a corridor and expect it to hit anything. Things have to already be in place for this to start doing damage. And that situation, they have to then consider like attacks of opportunity versus moving. There are then some somewhat interesting trade-offs that are made. This is something you should definitely consider as bonus action damage option first. Secondarily, it can do the persistent damage at the end of turn. It's a bummer that it doesn't let you hit something with them whenever you cast this. I really think the spell would benefit a lot from it launches from you it gives you when you cast this and as a bonus action, you move the sphere 30 feet and it does the damage. I think that would make this substantially clearer as to how good it can be. Missing out on a round of the 2d6 damage means if a fight's only going 3 or 4 rounds, it is way worse than if you get the full minute duration out of it, because you're getting a full less usage of the bonus action RAM. So that's a kind of a bummer that really I think it should be cleaned up. If you want this spell to be better and your DM wants the spell to be better, that is a way to do it. This spell has other issues though, namely in like ending the turn as opposed to entering the space for the first time is a pretty gigantic difference. I don't think the spell would necessarily be game-breakingly broken if it said whenever a creature enters the space or starts its turn there, that make it way better and actually do the damage area effect thing that you'd want it to.
Yeah. I guess it could. I mean, it could force movement if you needed creatures to get away from a certain point. Put it there, and they'll run away. Yeah, that's something. But I was thinking, even putting it in a corridor, like you can't hold people back because they can run through it and not take any damage.
Yes, which is counterintuitive and dumb.
This really is the Walmart brand.
So I think this spell is really easy to compare to something like Scorching Ray. I think that's a better apt comparison to it than something like Fireball. So Scorching Ray is 3 2d6 rays.
I mean, it's absolutely not Fireball, only comparable in name.
Yes. This is, I don't even think like comparable to Spike Growth. I think, which is a damaging area of effect for the similar level. Scorching Ray is 3 2d6 attacks in a bundle, right? And as you upcast it, you get more attacks for the Scorching Ray. Scorching Ray has the fun upside of working with things that let you, like Hex. It has the fun upside of working with things that pay off multiple spell attacks. So it's something it has over Flaming Sphere, but Flaming Sphere has the upside of the end of turn effect and potential upside of more attacks than, the 3 that you're getting for the Scorching Ray, right? Like you could conceivably make 4 attacks with the Flaming Sphere for the 1 second level spell slot. That is more. It's over 5 rounds, right? Because you don't get the attack on the first round you make it, and then you have to keep bouncing it around in between things. But you can conceivably get more attacks out of Flaming Sphere than Scorching Ray. Scorching Ray is probably more consistent, and like a lot more consistent. It just does slightly different things, and I don't hate Scorching Ray. I also don't hate Flaming Sphere. You seem very down on it. I think it's a pretty fine, mediocre second level damaging option. I think there will be a lot of characters that exactly 3rd and 4th level will find Flaming Sphere does the job just fine, and then you'll get past 3rd and 4th level and never cast it ever again.
Yeah. All right, so remind me one more time. Who gets this?
Druids, sorcerers, and wizards. It was optionally added to sorcerers, I believe, in Touch Cauldron and everything, according to the D&D Wiki right now. It's baffling to me that it wasn't a sorcerer and a wizard spell, but
yeah, I'm not well versed in second level druid spells, but
Summon Beast exists.
Yeah,
and that definitely makes this unusable on druids because Summon Beast is way better than this.
And like on wizards, everything exists. Yeah. Wizards get all the spells.
We say that, but like wizards, this is kind of what they're expected to be doing, right? This is kind of the wizard second level damage option that isn't like the second level spells, generally speaking, in the damage department kind of suck. They're not like the difference between a first level and second level damaging spell is very small. The difference between a second level and 3rd level damaging spell is gargantuan, right? Yeah. Like it's the difference of 2d6 to 8d6. Huge jump in damage whenever you get to 3rd level slots. Still, this is a 2d6 repeatable option, is somewhere in the range of what wizards are expected to do. There aren't really a lot of spells that do better bonus action damage than this. Again, really comparable to Spiritual Weapon. And for that reason, I can't ever be that down on it. It isn't exciting, but I think it is entirely reasonable.
The bonus action thing is something I haven't been given an fair look. Because you can do this and cantrip. Cast some firebolts,
and Burning Hands, right? You can double up on other 1st level and higher spells within the same round after the initial cast. And that's, I think, where the real beat of the spell is. I mean, that's why a lot of people don't find it to be giving them what they're looking for. Exactly as you described, right? People want this to be a damaging area of effect, and it just isn't. It's really easy to avoid all of the text that makes Flaming Sphere do area effect damage. It will sometimes come down whenever a fight's like in its 2nd, 3rd round, where you put it down behind some enemies and they have to make a choice of taking an attack opportunity or disengaging or taking the Flaming Sphere damage. That's like its best use case for area of effect damage. Beyond that, you should just be using it as, again, a spiritual weapon. Bouncing it into things, ramming it for damage, getting that bonus action 2d6 damage on top of your firebolts, on top of your burning hands, on top of the other spells you're more routinely casting, even on top of your scorching rays, right? Why not make 4 2d6 fire attacks around? If you really need a Nova, that's the way to do it.
And if you, with some teamwork, you could, I think you could squeeze some of the area of effect damage.
Absolutely.
knocking creatures prone or area of effect, slowing their movement or whatever.
Entangle and that stuff, right? Things that restrain things outright, reduce their speeds to 0, they exist.
Yeah, all right, so it'll go up a notch or two in my book for encouraging teamwork.
Lovely. We love encouraging teamwork in this household.
Make it useful.
Sure.
All right, well, you got a rating?
I think it's a 3. I don't think it's offensive. I think it's entirely reasonable. I don't think it's breaking the game in half, nor do I think it's something that is going to readily be like, oh my god, that was absurdly powerful or something I was super happy to use. But if you like what Spiritual Weapon does, if you like the bonus action attack stuff, this should be considered that first. And then it's a little gravy upside. Sometimes you get an extra 2d6, 46 damage out of it. And that's, if that ever happens, it's very good.
Yeah, I was prepared to give this a 2, but you've talked me up to a 3. That's it can have its uses.
Great success.
All right.
Once you're past 4th level, never consider it ever again.
All right, that was Fruit Rings. Oh, I mean, Flaming Sphere.
That's the one.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know what you think down in the comments, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it, a gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.